Hello and welcome. I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and this is our Friday Shangri-La version of Rasaji Speaks. I hope that you've had a wonderful week, our first week after Easter, as we move into the Acts of the Apostles and Scriptures, but also during this time the Catholic Church celebrates what they call Mercy Sunday, which is the first Sunday after Easter, focusing on Jesus's mercy and grace of Him and Our Lady. That's why she's with us today, and also because of our subject matter. Recognizing your body's signals for spiritual belonging. As you go through this transformation that we go through and embracing what Jesus referred to as the second birth, the first birth being born, of course, of our mother, and the second birth being born of the Holy Father, the divine fire. Some of us might refer to that as a psychic adolescence, if you will, or a psychic puberty. What begins to happen is that that triggers different symptoms in the body, tingling sensations that you begin to feel all through the hands and fingers and skin. The lymph node system gets ignited and stimulated, which strengthens your autoimmune system. I remember last week I was getting a treatment from Dr. Jenny, and she was checking all the points in my ear, and she came over to my autoimmune system, and she says, "Holy mackerel, what amazing autoimmune system." And I credit that to God, of course, and really the teachings of Tai Chi Gong, because according to Social Security number here, less than 2 months, Lama Ji will celebrate his 69th birthday. I will be 69, celebrating 69, and I'm born in the 6th month in the 9th day. So all the 69s, which represents the yin and yang sign, are really tracking this year for Lama Ji. And it is true. It is true. When you begin to absorb psychic and nutrition from the spiritual realms, from the psychic realms of the elements themselves, earth, air, water, and fire, it becomes powerful. These influences put us into the mode of other kind of symptoms and signals. You could be laying down at night, and all of a sudden your involuntary nervous system decides to become like more a voluntary nerve system. And even though you're not moving parts of your body, from time to time, you will feel that that starts to move, almost like a spasm in the muscles themselves. It's not overly to be concerned, because what happens is it's a wake up call for the different systems. See, you're going from a 110-watt level of electricity shifting into a 220. Some people might go 330 and down the road 440. But you're going through a transition. A transition has to take place as we're merging more with the God energy itself. That what the church refers to as the Holy Spirit. It's God's force, God's power force running through us. Began to happen that first time you did that 45-day renewal. If you haven't started that, it's no better time than the present time to begin to get her done. Once you have that experience of going through the 45-day renewal, you're never quite going to be the same. It's hard to sweep conscious stuff under the rug of unconsciousness. You can't unforget what has just happened, what you are acutely now aware of that you were not aware of presently. In other words, you don't know what you don't know. All of a sudden, though, one day you do know. And things are showing up and showing out, and you're going, holy mackerel, this is amazing. You're becoming a new being. You're transforming into a better concept of the human race that God the Father had designed us to be through our divine mother. Divine mother's influence is not only a womb of a woman's body, but brothers and sisters, it's a womb of all creation. That's why in 1970, my yoga master, Babaji, literally used the cave to be a womb of a woman and totally materialized a brand new body in that cave. Stayed in that cave about 9 months and then walked across the Ganges, folded his legs, and for the next 45 days during his renewal, he wanted to show people the power of yoga, which means union with God, the power of the city teachings, which means our connection or the right to practice a sadhana to communicate with the divine in a half a dozen to a dozen different ways. Happy to be with you today. I hope that you're going into a wonderful weekend and that your Easter with you and your family last week was incredible. I hope that you've enjoyed the teachings of Lama D sharing with you lost information out of the Bible and filling in a lot of the gaps about what Jesus did in his training years. We'll talk a little bit more about what Jesus did after the resurrection. Very little known about that also. And as we say in Tibet, Baraka Bashai to you and to your glorious family. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Saturday's edition of Rasaji Speaks. God bless you all. Thank you.